Hey friends, and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Morgan and you are on my homestead here in Wyoming, and it's Tuesday, which means it's Taco Tuesday. So tonight we are going to be making some fish tacos using some of the walleye salmon I caught here in Wyoming last year, and I'm super excited about it. We're gonna make it really fresh, really good, and then fingers crossed the weather lets up. We have some crazy thunder and lightning going on right now, but I'm hopeful that once the weather lights up, we can go outside and we have some very exciting surprises that I need to take you around and show you, because I feel like we have not caught up in the garden and the animals and what's going on outside in so long. So we're gonna get going on dinner. Again, we're making some fresh fish tacos. We're gonna make a really fresh slaw to go with it. We're gonna make a mango salsa, a little bit of like a crema or a nice sauce to go on top of it, and then obviously our walleye as well. So dinner tonight is going to be very, very good. So let's go ahead and get dinner started, and then hopefully I can take you outside and give you some updates on the homestead. All right, so like I mentioned, first thing we're going to make is a cabbage slaw. So I got our cabbage all washed up, and here I just have a compost pile, aka a chicken pile. And I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of take the top layers off of this cabbage. It doesn't look that great, and where I live, nothing goes to waste. And then let's see, we don't need that much, so I'm going to cut our cabbage that way. Also, can we appreciate my pretty new purple knife? Very exciting. And this layer doesn't look awesome either, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that layer off too. I'm just gonna cut our cabbage into thirds, and then I'm gonna very thinly slice the cabbage. The reason I cut these into thirds is because we're going for tacos, so I don't want like a huge piece of cabbage, but I do love that fresh crunch that it offers. And then here I just have a container, and I'm gonna go ahead and put our cabbage in. One trick that I have for making tacos go quicker and cleanup go quicker, because there are so many toppings, I like to make my sides or toppings in a storage container like this. That way I don't have to put it in a bowl and then wash that bowl and then serve it in a bowl and then go ahead and transfer it into another bowl when it comes time to putting it away. And these are organic carrots, so I'm just gonna go ahead and shred them. I don't need to peel them, especially because we are going to shred them. But I have found that if you go ahead and just put your toppings in Tupperware containers, especially if you probably aren't gonna eat it all, that works out so well because you already have it ready to go. You don't waste like 2 or 3 dishes for each topping. Obviously, if we were having like guests over or we were making this a nicer ordeal, I might put in serving dishes, but honestly, eating these glass Pyrex containers are pretty dang nice. So that's just what I do, and that's kind of my little trick to make tacos a little bit easier. And then leftovers are easy, lunches are easy because it's already put away in Tupperware. So I'm just gonna shred 2 carrots, and I'm just going to grab a fork and give that a nice mix. This is so pretty and colorful. And this is like a cream-free coleslaw that I'm going for. Okay, now we're going to squeeze in about we'll start with a half a lime. All right, I'm gonna set that off to the side, and then here I have just a little bit of cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you could use parsley or nothing, whatever you want. And I already had this cilantro, but I think our garden has enough cilantro that if we need extras after this, we can go out there and get some, which is very exciting. All right, so there's our currant slaw. I'm gonna throw in just a little bit of salt, and this will draw out the moisture, so this will be a little bit more watery when we come to eat it. And then I think that's good. We'll give this a taste test right before and see if we need to add anything else, but that looks great. We'll put this in the fridge and let it sit and kind of marinate until dinner. Okay, our cutting board has been wiped down. So now I'm just going to make a quick little, kind of like a pico de gallo. So for this, I would normally put jalapenos in it. I don't have any. So we're just going to do tomatoes, onions, cilantro, and then I do have some cayenne pepper. So I think we'll add that in just to give it a nice little spice. Obviously, beautiful part about cooking from home is you can make things as spicy or not spicy as your family likes, but we do like some spice. We really like, especially with fish tacos, the like spicy and sweet variation. Just I feel like it really is such a good combination with the fish and the freshness, so we really like to have a little bit of spice, so I'm gonna make sure that we do that. All right. Now we're gonna get going on our onion for this, pico type situation. And I'm gonna cut my onions very small. That looks perfect. And I just had, I think, a good idea. We have these pickled jalapenos and carrots in here from our garden jalapenos and garden carrots and garden onions from last year. And if you want to see how we made this, I do have a video on it, so you can go check that out. But I was just thinking, I have jalapenos, they're pickled, but I can probably just put this in pico, and I think it'll be great. So what I'm doing is just cutting my jalapenos a little bit thinner, and then we're just gonna give them a rough chop. And throw them in our salsa. I mean, it'll be a little zingy, but when you put it all together with like a taco, I think it'll be kind of like having like a pickled onion or something on there. It does look like pickles in here. That's kind of funny. I mean, that looks pretty good. Now let's go out together to the garden and get some cilantro. All right, we got a little break in the storm. I'm sure you can see the crazy clouds behind me, but I have my scissors and we are heading out to the garden to go check it out and grab some cilantro. Now, I was planning on making mango salsa too, like I had mentioned, but our mango wasn't great. So that will be going to the goats instead, and that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. I do have a little bit of an herb garden here, and I also have some chives. Ooh, the world is our oyster. But we are gonna go ahead and get some things picked, and then I'm gonna give you a little update while we are out here. All right, so here's kind of the herb garden portion. I have a basil here, cilantro, 4 celeries. I thought that they were parsley. I just like quickly grabbed them, turned out they're celery. So we have celery in the herb garden, that's okay. I have a few more little cilantros and then some some parsley, thyme, and dill. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit of cilantro harvested. I don't have that much, I don't want to get crazy, so I'm just going to do a few leaves and then leave the rest to continue growing up. And then right here is kind of our little lettuce patch. So we have speckled lettuce and not speckled lettuce, I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but these are looking pretty good. I started these inside and they were planted out here about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So they're looking awesome. What I should be able to do with these is cut them and they will come back. So I'm gonna give it a try with this one. I did it last year and it worked awesome. And that way we can have some lettuce on our fish tacos. So what you do is just kind of cut the leaves off like so, and then it will regrow at the base with your new lettuce. So again, I'm not going to take very much. My garden is like very, very young still, but we'll take a little for our fish tacos. Okay, and then while we're out here, I just wanted to give you a quick update on the garden. I pretty much went ahead and got everything planted. So I'm just gonna take you through and just very quickly show you what I got. I did show you how I planted my melons, cantaloupe, my potatoes and onions, but past that, everything is pretty much the exact same. So I just went ahead and planted it all. And I figured now I'll keep you updated on the progress. So like I mentioned, have my herbs and my lettuces here at the entrance. And then over here is where all of my watermelons, my cantaloupes, cucumbers, and squashes are all planted. And that goes all the way down this row. And then I do need to do some weeding, but you can see the beauty of weed cloth. There's the weed cloth versus the no weed cloth. Again, my onions and potatoes are back here. That's why there's no weed cloth. And then here are all of our tomatoes that we started from seed together, along with our tomatillos. So when I first put them out here, they started looking pretty leggy, and they've really actually turned a corner and are looking pretty dang good. So I'm excited for them. I'm like a proud little mother of them. And then over here are our peppers and okra. And then we also have our beans in the ground, beets in the ground, corn, carrots, and some pumpkins that are all currently at seed. So our peppers are starting to look really good. I'm super excited about them, and hopefully our corn, carrots, beets, beans, those all start coming up soon. But our last and final update, I'm sure you can hear behind me. Give it a guess right now. Comment down below what you think our final little surprise update is. But without further ado, let me take you in and introduce you to the two newest members of the Homestead. All right, so here is our surprise. We have two Idaho pasture pigs. We picked them up about a month ago. So they, as you can see, they're still a little skittish. They're doing a lot of growing and mostly a lot of eating. They live in here with the chickens. It actually works really awesome because they are keeping all of the weeds down. But if you've never heard of an Idaho pasture pig, what's cool about them is their noses are a lot shorter, so they're really good at grazing. So these guys do a ton of grazing. They eat a ton of the weeds in the chicken run, which is great because it kind of keeps the risk of snakes down, and it just keeps me feeling a lot better. So they pretty much just live in here with the chickens and do their thing. But yes, these are Idaho pasture pigs, and they are about 2 months old at this point, so we are not naming them. So one thing I hear a lot when I say we have pigs and people ask what their names are, and I say they don't have a name because we will be eating them. A lot of people ask, how in the world can you eat your pet? And I think that's kind of the shift in the homesteading mentality is, for us, they aren't a pet. They are a meat source that we are raising, and they have a purpose just like everyone else here has a purpose. The chickens are here because they lay eggs. The goats are here because they help us pack out meat. Arrow's here because he's a hunting dog. The cats are here because they keep mice down. Everyone here has a purpose, and the pigs are no different. So while yes, it's sad, and I think that day is actually going to be very hard for me, our pigs here are not named and they have a purpose. So They will be going to slaughter, and honestly the reason we're raising them is just because I want to know where our meat is coming from. As a lot of you know, we do a ton of hunting and fishing, and that's how we get 99% of our meat that we consume is through hunting and fishing. And so that means we are very conscious of what we are putting into our bodies, and I like to have a bit of a variation when it comes to meat. I've really been missing pork. We get some bird or poultry through pheasants, and then we also hunt turkeys, so we do get a variation there, but I've just really been wanting pork. So the only obvious choice for us was to raise our own. It's basically free because they are grazers. We do feed them alfalfa, and we raise all of our own alfalfa here. So we can feed them basically for free. Obviously, we do give them grain, as you can see behind me here, but that was kind of the obvious choice for us when it came to diversifying our meat sources. So now that you have seen the newest members, the 2 pigs, I am going to head back inside and we are going to finish up making our fish tacos so we can eat them. Hi, buddy. Okay, here's our garden cilantro. Like I said, I couldn't get too much because I don't want to kill the plant, but we had to have just a little something for taco night. So I'm just going to quickly chop that up. Put that into our quote-unquote pico, kinda. Let's give that a quick stir. It smells really good. I'm just going to put this half of an onion off to the side. That was going to be for our mango salsa, but we're not going to have that. I will incorporate the sweetness a different way. I'm going to add in some pepper. If you've never seen these, they're on Amazon. I got them for a gift and they're great. I feel like your wrist always, or my wrist at least, always gets like sore twisting. So it's nice to have this because you just pull it back and forth. It's pretty nice. I'll link it down below. So I just put in a little bit of garlic powder. I'm gonna stick a little cayenne in there since our jalapenos don't have a ton of heat. And I think that will be it for our pico. We'll just stick that in the fridge and let the flavors combine, and I'll give it just a quick little taste test before I serve it. That way I can make sure everything is perfect. And then I did decide to grab my coleslaw back out. And because our mangoes weren't ripe, I want that little bit of sweet brightness in this. So what I'm gonna do is put just a little bit of agave in our coleslaw, and that's gonna bring in the lime juice that's already in there, and it's just gonna kind of give us like a little bit of sweetness. So I think that will be absolutely perfect for our tacos. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna give this a quick bite. It's perfect. The cilantro is really coming out, which is exactly what we wanted. I think that was a perfect addition. All right, now we're gonna peel some corn and make our sauce. All right, so for our sauce, it's kind of like a crema, but I always make the same sauce every time. And it's from Natasha's Kitchen. I'll link it down below, but I think it's so good. So you're gonna start with about a half a cup of sour cream. Perfect, we can always add more. A third of a cup of mayonnaise. Remember, you can always make your own. I just have to find shortcuts some places, and my mayonnaise is one of them. I would say that was a light third of a cup, but that's okay. Then we're gonna throw in 2 tablespoons of lime juice. 1, 2. However much sriracha you want. We like ours a little spicy. And then about a teaspoon of garlic powder. And salt. And then we're gonna give that a stir. Perfect. And then just grab another spoon and give that a try. Oh, so good. I'm gonna add a little bit more sriracha. and a tiny bit more lime juice, and that's gonna be it. This will just go in the fridge until we're ready for dinner. All right, finally, I just need to peel our corn. And I'm just gonna put this corn on the grill pan when we cook the fish. I saved the husks because our goats absolutely love corn husks. They don't like the hairs, so I won't pass those along to them, but they do love the actual husk. So I just go as far as I can until I start getting into the hairs, and then the hairs will go in the trash can. Or I suppose you could recycle them, but since mine's all going to my animals, I don't want them to have to eat these. All right, there we have it. I'm just gonna put this corn on the grill with the fish when it goes. All right, so for our marinade, this is super simple. We're just going to do salt. I guess it's not really a marinade, it's just our fish seasoning. Pepper. And I'm using this one because it's so little, it's gotta fit. Little paprika. Chili powder. And I saw recently you're supposed to twist these plastic caps, and it actually works pretty good. Until it falls off. And cayenne. And a little garlic. And that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the walleye out and just pat it dry, and then it will be ready for the grill. All right, so this is one of those jobs that I would definitely use paper towels for. And this has just been frozen. So we just fillet it and then freeze it into individual size portions. So it's a pretty delicate fish, so I'm just going to lay it out. And then I'm just going to pat it dry. Just like that, and then I'll repeat that for the second bag. And then the secret to a great fish taco is frying the tortilla. You can see here Sam is just frying it. You can use any oil you want, and we are using corn tortillas. We find that that kind of crisps up the best, and we absolutely love it. All right, you guys, we just finished our dinner. It was so good. We ate way too much and I am stuffed. So we're gonna go on a little walk, go check out the property, but I hope that gave you kind of a feel for what our nights are, especially working full-time and doing a homesteading lifestyle. It's really a accurate representation. I normally work the entire day, cook some dinner, check out the garden, hang out with the animals, go on a walk or spend some time outside with Sam, and that's pretty much it. The fun part is you never know what the day's gonna throw at you, and it turned out to be a beautiful night here, so we're gonna go enjoy this great weather. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye, friend.